Okay, so now let's get into the DLMM tour. So we are going to go to the DLMM, and I am just going to pick a pool here. Let's go into the USDC pool. Now we see here, again, you can search by CA. You can filter a lot of different things here. I'm not going to filter anything right now, but we see a couple other new options. We can filter this list by TVL or by volume, but you can choose whether the last 30 minutes and some things in between 24 hours. You can also sort by the 24-hour fee over TVL. Now, I would caution you on using this number. So what it's showing me here is the 24-hour fee divided by TVL. The problem with this number is that it can be somewhat misleading. And the reason for that is because if someone deposits a large amount of liquidity into the pool, then this number is going to go way down because the amount of fees hasn't changed, but the TVL has. It's gone way up. So it's just dividing the same amount of fees against a lot more TVL. So that number will go down. Conversely, like say this particular pool, it's got $3.7 million in it. If $3 million was removed from this pool, this number would shoot way up. So you can use this as a kind of a guide to pick your pools, but don't let it be the only thing that chooses. If you see something that says 9999%, it's probably not a real number. Okay. So now what we see here, I'm sorting by the TVL. We can see the amount of volume that's going through here. I'm going to change it back to 24-hour volume so that it's not. There we go. So we see bin step and base fee on these. Which one do we choose? That's a great question. What I'm mostly looking for is more volume than TVL. That's a great thing. If you're seeing like this one right here, this 50 bin step, 2% fee, there's not very a lot of TVL in there, but there's even less volume. That's telling me this is not a good pool. This is a bad choice. Someone made a bad choice when creating that pool. Ideally, here we've got $13 million of volume in this TVL, so I'm going to go into this one. Actually, no, I am going to go into something else. Something maybe a little bit more volatile. These are nasty. I don't want that one. Let's just look at this Trump pool. Okay, so we'll give the tour here. This is how much is locked. Here we'll see the tokens. We've got all that. We can see here the Jupiter score. This is really cool. Kind of just helps you know whether or not something is kind of safe, but still do your own research. We'll see the liquidity distribution over this price range. This is the liquidity in there right now, and you can zoom in and out, changing these. We'll see this is a 50 bin step. This is the base fee, the max fee. The max fee is always 10%. The protocol fee on DLMM is 5% of the dynamic fee, always. There, the dynamic fee, again, it's all based on volatility. There's not really any volatility on this token, the Trump token, so we can see that it's not changed. We'll see our 24-hour fee, pool charts, all that great stuff, right? And then here at the top, we'll see where we've deposited our liquidity. If you click this, it'll switch it to SOL. You can see the amount of fees earned over time in those two different tokens. If we want to create a position here, we have a couple different options. If you use the autofill, it's going to try and balance the tokens. Okay, no matter which shape you use, it's going to try and do both tokens in a balance. If you want to go only one-sided, you uncheck autofill and put in just the amount of that one token. If, let's say, you wanted to do something else, not that much. So you can do whatever kind of balance that you want within these things and set it however you'd like. Change your volatility strategy here. What we can do next is we look at the current price. I'm sliding this. The current price is not changing. What it's doing is it's changing the minimum and maximum here. We'll notice these numbers changing as we slide it back and forth and reset that price back to the middle. The other way you can modify your range is by changing the minimum and maximum price directly. So I enter it there, click off of it, and it resets it there. Minimum price is now 10. Maximum price, we can change that to whatever we want. Let's reset this. Let me start over. Okay, so minimum price, maximum price. We can set this to a different percentage. That's generally whatever I do is change that and that there. we'll notice that the number of bins required to create that position will automatically adjust. You can't change this, but you can change the price or the percentage that you wish to create that. The default for a single position is 69 bins. You can go over that by changing that right there. The maximum number of bins for any single position is 1400. Let me show you guys a different pool. There was one out there too. Okay, 100, 1%. That seems to be the best performing one right now. I actually have a position open here, but I'm going to create a new position. Show you guys how to do this. So I'm going to go in, actually one-sided, a small amount. And I'm just going to add liquidity. But before I do, I want you guys to pay attention to this. This is very important. It's telling me here how much SOL I need to create this position. Unlike the DAM-V1 and the DAM-V2, you do not get an LP token. You do not get an NFT. This interacts with the Solana blockchain itself. That requires rent to create this position. It's refundable because whenever you close your position, it's destroyed. So therefore you get that rent back. So we see here, it's telling me how much SOL I need to create that position. Okay. And for a standard one, not over 69.70, it's going to be this much, 0.057. If we click on this, it'll give me a breakdown of what I'm paying for right here. Okay. So we can see that. Okay. Now, if I was to change this to something crazy, say we want to go up 200%. Still did 300%. All right, I'm going to go wild here. Wow, people have paid for a lot of bins here. Okay. If you are depositing liquidity into a price range where none has ever existed before, you will have to pay for bins. Let me see if I can give you guys a better example here. Here's a bad pool. We go to add liquidity, went on, and we can see here we go. We see a non-refundable fee now. We're needing to create 2 bin arrays. Why? Because no liquidity has ever been deposited into this price range before. So the bins don't exist yet. So it wants to create these bins. Because like pools, bins can't be destroyed once created, that rent is not refundable. You don't own the bins. If you pay for bins, then you paid for them. Anybody can use them. So I'm telling you this because I want you to pay attention before you do any deposit. Anytime you add liquidity, please pay attention. If it says non-refundable, you will never get that money back. It may be worth it for you if it's a good pool and it's fresh and all that. Just be aware of what you're paying for. It's 0.07 SOL per bin array, and it's usually 2 bin arrays. So just pay attention to that, guys, before you do it. Okay. All right. Let me actually, I don't want to deposit in this pool because this is a bad pool. I'm going to go back here and I'm going to add this position 0.1. And this time I'm actually going to use the bid ask just for giggles. I'll hit add liquidity and approve. I didn't change the price range on this one. I just went with the standard. And it was this wide because of the bin step. 100 bin step would cover more range, right? If you remember. If I had picked a smaller bin step, this would be much smaller. If this was, say, 20 bin step, it would probably be only about 12, 13% on the downside. Okay. But anyway, I have liquidity in here. I have multiple positions. You can create as many positions as you'd like in a pool. This is not stacking. This is multiple positions. They operate separately. While you can claim all the fees that you've earned on all positions at the same time, they are wholly separate. Here's one that's been going since this morning. I only have a tiny bit in there. You can see it was on a bid ask. It's gone down a little bit. I've got some fees. So I can claim these fees. And there you go. I've claimed some fees. Yay. We're going to talk tomorrow about what to do with these fees. There are several options, but you can at any time add to an existing position. Okay, let me give you another example. Let me create a new position and show you exactly that. I'm going to show you stacking strategy now. Okay, 0.1 SOL. We're going to stay with the spot. I'm going to add a little bit of upside just so that the visual looks better. Now note that the more bins that you create, it may require more refundable rent. Just pay attention to that. But again, you'll get the money back. Okay, all right. So I've got a new spot one-sided position here, and that's weird. But now I want to stack it. Say I wanted to add some bid ask to this. So let's just say I wanted to do 0.05 into a bid ask. I change my strategy there, and then I add liquidity, and there you go. Why does it look weird? It's because the price moved a little bit when I was depositing. It's using something called Jito bundles to package all of these transactions together, especially the higher than 69 bins. It's going to require more. It's like 250 bins. It's a bunch of Jito bundles. The idea there is packaging transactions together so that your deposit goes in together. Sometimes it acts weird, and so you'll get a funky shape. But regardless, I have a stacked strategy now of spot and bid ask. That's how it's done. I can see the price is going down. Some of my SOL is being converted into the Trump token. And there you go. Okay, so great. We've covered deposits. Now we talk about a ton of options with withdrawal. We're going to click on withdraw button here. We got a lot of choices. Now, the very first thing is you're done. I want to close out. I don't want to change anything. You can hit withdraw and close position, and that's that. And I'm going to actually do that on this one down here. I'm going to hit withdraw. It's going to withdraw my liquidity, claim any fees, close the position, and give me back my rent for that position. Okay. It'll take a second to refresh, but it's done. Okay. I see Jito bundles completed. My transaction went through, and now the position is gone. All right. So now there's some other options here, guys. You don't have to choose 100%. Let's say that you only wanted to pull out 75%. Once you choose something other than 100% of all the tokens, you're just withdrawing. You can't close. Okay. You can change this number to whatever you'd like. It just has to be a whole number. The other thing that you can do is say, I only want to pull out the other token. So you can choose just that one token. Give me all of that. Now you see here, it's telling you how much it's pulling out. If there's any of that token along with SOL in the active bin, it'll pull that little bit of SOL too. Here's the visual for you guys. Expand the bins. Now what's cool here is that you can actually choose a range to extract. Let's say that I only wanted to pull out this SOL right here. I can do that by selecting just that SOL, and I hit withdraw liquidity, and there you go. I pulled out just that SOL. I can do a percentage there with that option. I can say go here, pull out 10% or 25%. It's going to shave a little bit of that off. Now, there may not be a reason to do exactly what I just showed you, but the point is that you can. You can do whatever you want. You can make all kinds of shapes like that. What you can't do is say, give me just the liquidity from this bin and this bin and this bin. You can't deposit just into this bin and none of the others. That's not a choice. Another option to withdraw is the zap out feature. Okay. So let's say that I want to withdraw and have this automatically swap all of one token for the other. You choose the zap out function. So we see that I'm pulling out 3,900 Trump 2 tokens and that much SOL. I say I want to receive only SOL. If I withdraw the liquidity, it's going to pull out all those tokens and it's going to swap the Trump 2 for the SOL automatically. There is a 250 bin limit on that. So if your position is over 250 bins wide, you can't use the zap out unless you reduce this down to less than 250 bins. Okay, so I'm just going to do this here. We also see here on this, there's an auto option. You can have it swap directly only with the pool, or you can tell it only swap with Jupiter. Auto is going to give you the best price, whichever it is. But I'm going to do my zap out, withdraw and close. I double check to make sure. I hit approve. I probably actually lost money on this position, but it's neither here nor there. Any fees would have been converted as well. Okay, so now that's gone and I don't have all that, right? It's all been converted into the other. Okay, so that is deposit withdrawal. Now I'm going to show you guys a few other very important features. We have here this little button, these settings here. We can see liquidity slippage and swap slippage. The swap slippage is setting your tolerance for swaps within the pool itself. Because again, you have the swap feature here, which again, we don't recommend you use that. Liquidity slippage is saying, because whenever, say you go to deposit, if the price moves between the time when you said deposit and that transaction actually landing, that slippage, this defines how much in percentage you're willing to accept in slippage. If you're having trouble depositing and you don't really care that much, then you can set this higher to some accessible or better amount. It's really, you only see that kind of thing with really volatile tokens. So, but you set that to whatever it is that you're willing to accept. The other options up here at the top, we have the gear icon. You can choose a different RPC. If things are running slow for you, open this up, see which RPC is giving you the best times, lower the number, the better. If you happen to have your own custom RPC, you can enter it here, but I'll go in here and I'll change it. You just click and it'll switch your RPC. It just kind of helps get transactions through if you're having trouble. The other thing that you have here is your transaction fee settings. With the DLMM, it's always going to use Jito bundles. You can't change that. It won't let you. But what you can change is the priority level, fast, turbo, and ultra. I always go with the lowest setting that I can get away with, because whenever you use the faster ones, it's going to cost you more in SOL for that transaction fee. Okay, so set that to whatever it is. If you're having trouble landing, then you can increase. When you're depositing with the DAM V2, by the way, you can choose priority fee only or mix, and mix is Jito and priority fee. The fee mode, max cap or exact fee, you can set the maximum amount of SOL that you're willing to spend for any given transaction. If network is congested and it's going to cost, that price of transaction has gone up, if it goes above your max cap, the transaction will fail. Increase this only if you need to. I set it the lowest that I can possibly get away with. I start with 0.001 SOL. I only increase it if I have to. There is an exact fee. That means that you will spend this amount every time, no matter what. There's not a whole lot of reason to do it. The network would have to be extremely congested for me to set that, but I'm not going to do it. And then finally, we have the notification bell up here at the top. You sign the message, costs nothing, but what we're looking for is it's going to notify you when a DLMM position is out of range. Okay, so now it's not really telling me which one, and it's not telling me if it's on the up or down, but it'll tell me that. You can have it tell you you could have it tell you on Telegram or send an email. There's also a new type here, the general broadcast. So if they're sending out information to everybody, which doesn't happen very often, you can have that on the general broadcast for that. So that's what it's telling you. Now, explain something else to you guys again. We talked about it before. Right now, I'm in range. Okay. If the price of Trump 2 goes up above this, then I'm out of range and I'm no longer earning fees. So as long as I stay within this range, I'm earning fees. If it goes up or down outside of range, then I stop earning fees. Okay. I'm going to show you guys the portfolio. This is where you can see all of your positions in one place. You can see if you've got any unclaimed fees on a position. If it's in green, you're in range. If it's in orange here, you are not in range. You are no longer earning fees. You can see the current price of the pools, all that good stuff. You can also see, so these are DLMM positions, and then this is dynamic V2 pools positions. We made about 12 cents on this. Hooray. Draw. Okay, profit. And we can see that it went away. Okay, let's go in here. I've got two positions in this particular pool, and we see this triangle is telling me this one's out of range. We can see how it's sitting there. This one, the price dumped. All of my SOL got turned into ore. Right now I'm waiting, hoping for a pump. But right here in this second position that I opened to help offset those fees, those losses, it is in range and it's earning me fees, albeit slowly. Okay. All right. So that's adding, withdrawing, all of those functions.